Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to your singles counseling session.
Is that what this is? No, that's the new podcast name.
Singles counseling session. But single life is very,
awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think I think it's taken for granted too often. Because, there is the counterculture of, not wanting to get married. But we'll talk about that a different time.
Yeah.
We'll let someone else focus on that. For now, we want to talk to the guys about, and the girls. Honestly, for both.
It still applies.
It's the same. It's, hey, if you're single, don't make your only goal to not be.
Yeah.
Right? If you're single, do what you can with it. Because, you think about, in the Bible, in 1 Corinthians, he's like, I wish that you guys were all even as I am. Because Paul was single his whole life. He was able to do amazing things for the Lord.
Yeah.
He even gave some parenting advice.
Yeah, you can do that.
As a single guy.
Yeah.
Just because he was close to the Lord and he studied the Bible.
Yeah. Well, and another thing is, too, so someone mentioned this to me, and I was like, that's a really good point. They said, if you, taking your life right now, this could be, hopefully, is the only time where you will be single.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about it, if you get in a relationship, hopefully, that'll be the last time you're single.
Yeah.
Lord willing, that's the idea.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I kind of, made me sit back and think, this is a season of my life that I will never have back.
Yeah.
And there are just certain things that you can do when you're single that you just can't when you're in a relationship.
Yeah. For instance, working 48 hours a week and then having a business on the side.
Exactly. Yes.
That's what I'm going to be doing. With this new job that I'm starting next week. I'm going to be working my tail off at a regular job. And then on top of that, I'm going to be working on doing YouTube stuff.
Yeah, and I'm already doing that. I got a full-time job and I got a side gig that I want to turn into my full-time job.
Yeah, and so right now, me and you can pour everything into that.
Exactly.
And having a family would cut into that.
And if you think about it, it's an investment because, say my business takes off, your business takes off.
Yeah.
In the future, when we both have families, Lord willing, that is a huge upside.
Oh yeah, it's a huge asset.
Huge, because you have more flexible time with
your
family. Potentially, your spouse or kids could potentially work with you someday.
Yeah.
More financial freedom.
Mm-hmm. And you get to work a job you love.
Yeah.
Rather than working a job you hate because you love your family. Because, hey, if you're in a situation where you have a wife and kids, and maybe the business falls through and you have to work a job that you don't like, I'm fully prepared to do that. I'm like, I'm cool with that.
Same.
But if you can take advantage of your single years, build something up, build a routine, build a method of building wealth, a method of saving time, a method of saving money. Then once you're married, you have so much of the heavy lifting done for you.
Yeah. You don't have to figure that out.
Yeah.
And it's hard to figure it out when you're in a relationship. You put things on hold if you're not ready.
Yeah. I've said this to multiple people, which is, I'm like, you know what? I want to be single right now and do stuff right now because I'm okay with forcing Silas to eat ramen for a couple of months.
Yeah.
Or even a couple of years. Right?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and with me, I have goals, specific goals, like fitness goals and whatever, working out and nutrition goals and just a bunch of goals that I wouldn't be able to focus on it. Something would have to let go if I were to be in a relationship. And my goal is, that thing would be, the full-time job that I
Yeah.
that I have now, and that I could devote to.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
To the business. That's that's my plan. But.
Yeah, and so the big thing there is like, and it's like, yeah, we have our goals that way. For me, like when I have a wife and kids, I don't have to like cut a budget down to ramen.
Yeah.
Right? Because I don't want to put my wife through that, and I wouldn't want to put my kids through that.
You're fine with that.
I'm fine with that.
Ramen, so what? Yeah.
But like that's fine.
Yeah.
But not for them.
No.
So I want to live a poor man's lifestyle with an average man's salary. So when I get married, we can live an average man's lifestyle with a rich man's salary.
Yeah, it's funny when we both met and started becoming good friends.
Yeah.
We realized we had these same goals.
Yeah.
Of exactly what you're saying now.
Yeah, exactly.
Of building a business in the future and.
Yeah, and eventually having basically a self-sustaining business that can be majority or primary income.
Mm-hmm.
So that then we can devote more time to our families.
In the future, it's an investment.
Exactly.
For the future. Because, when you're single, it can be very tempting to just always look ahead, or looking for the relationship now.
Yeah, yes.
Instead of, being open to what God has for you, but not looking through in every corner of everywhere and stressing about things that aren't true, overthinking. Instead, you can focus on the future.
Yeah.
You don't know who it's going to be. You just don't. So you might as well, serve the Lord the best you can where you're at and prepare for the future that you think God has for you.
Yeah. That's the huge thing. It's like, the future's not going to come now.
Exactly.
Right? The future is in the future. So, what are you doing now to prepare for that? Rather than waiting for the future to come to you, you should be prepared to meet it. That would be like, I'll study for the math test on the day of. I mean, and there's some college students that have that mindset, and they end up getting bad grades and no sleep.
I was the person who would study like an hour before the test and somehow still get an A.
Hey, you know what? If you can do it, you can do it.
Some of my siblings hated me for it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a lot the same way. I had a much less structured schooling, so I can't say that for sure. But I'm a lot of that where I can, like with Bible memorization, there was one quiz where I memorized, I think it was like 20 verses, a 20-verse chapter.
Yeah, for the quiz.
In an hour. And I actually quizzed and actually did good.
Nice.
It was 30 minutes one night, 30 minutes the next night, and reviewed it day of.
This is why you're the coach.
I don't know if that's why I should be the coach, because I'm a procrastinator.
Yeah, but Ace will teach you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Teach me some discipline.
Discipline, yeah.
Put it in my teens too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, another thing about singleness is you can focus. I know it's cliche, but focusing on yourself.
Yes.
And it's super cliche, but I mean it is super true, because it goes back to that old adage. In airplanes, they always tell you to put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you go to help somebody else. Because and there's a saying, God helps those that help themselves, and it's not a Bible verse, but there's truth to that where you want to work on yourself for the purpose of helping others.
Yeah, and if you're not willing to take the first step, if you're not willing to change, then the Lord's not going to force you to.
Right. Well, yeah, He'll get you to change.
He'll encourage you.
It won't be the way you want it.
He'll encourage you in one way or another.
Yeah.
But eventually, it's your choice,
Yes.
My
dad always says, "Would you rather learn the hard way or the easy way?"
Yeah.
And I want to learn the easy way.
Yeah.
'Cause I've learned the hard way before, and it's not fun.
A lot of my life has been learning the hard way.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it.
No.
I've learned way too many lessons by doing a thing and being like, whoa, that wasn't the right way to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can work on yourself, and you can figure out what you want, or in a more accurate, more biblical way of saying it, you can figure out what God's will is for your life, and what God wants you to be, who God wants you to be, because when it even says it in the Bible, he that hath a wife careth for the things of the world, how he may please his wife. Yeah. Now that's biblical, and that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But then, if you're focused on your wife, then you don't know what you're supposed to be. So
you are become somebody that you're not.
Yeah.
To please somebody.
Yeah.
Because if your primary goal is to be in a relationship, you're going to take the first person that comes, and you might have a few checklists, but it might not be complete, and so you might just okay, they're saved, they're
close enough.
Yeah, they're close enough, and you end up changing and being someone you're not to get the relationship.
Yeah, that is a huge danger. Actually,
yeah, it is, because the worst scenario, I guess, would be it ends up in marriage, and you end up.
Well, here's the thing. I wouldn't say that's the worst scenario, because at the end of the day, God can use any marriage.
Absolutely, that is very true. And people change.
Yeah,
God will change people, and
yeah. But the big thing is, you're never going to find a good relationship if all you're looking for is a relationship.
Yeah.
Right? Because then your value system is all set around the idea of relationships rather than people.
Yes.
Okay? And you're not dating a relationship. You're not dating a girlfriend. You're dating a person.
And you know what ends up happening is you have somebody, in mind, or whatever, somebody potential, and you end up thinking not of the person, but of the relationship, and attaching yourself to the relationship.
Yeah.
Of the relationship instead of the person.
Yeah.
And then you end up thinking totally different about them than you would think about other people.
Yeah.
Because you want that relationship.
Yeah, that's why I really encourage people to view dating as just a friendship that's exclusive. Right?
For a purpose of...
Yeah, for the purpose of marriage. And a lot of people call it courting. I just refer to it as dating because it's the most commonly understood term. So, any of you very conservative people, I am also referring to courting. Anyway, I'll get that out of the way.
Yeah.
But when you're dating, it should be there isn't actually, according to the Bible, any such thing as dating.
There's not.
There isn't. The closest to dating there was when Abraham's servant talked to the girl.
Right.
That wasn't even Isaac.
It wasn't. And obviously, there has to be that.
Oh yeah.
It's the natural thinking because from just knowing someone to marriage, there's got to be something in between.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just got arranged marriages, and we don't want that.
Yeah.
But
the Lord can still work through that, but that's rough.
Yes.
That's rough.
And that's where I think you get that. What you just said before. It's just a friendship with the purpose.
I was talking to a friend, and we're good friends, and she was talking about how she's like, man, it would be cool if, because we both are like, a lot about dating is stupid.
Absolutely.
And it's just kind of like almost like ritualistic.
Yeah.
It's like, we do this because we do this. And she's like, well, there would be nothing wrong with a guy just like being really good friends and us becoming better and better friends, and then one day he just proposes to me.
Yeah.
According to the Bible, that's actually like the way things go.
Yeah. Well, and I would do things differently.
Well, of course.
I would, but there would be absolutely nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. Like, I'd be way more communicative. You know, I know you would too.
Yeah.
But absolutely nothing wrong with it. But everyone kind of has this thing set in their mind of what it should be. And I found that in our Christian circles, you know, you got the worldly dating, yeah, we throw that out the window. But there's so many, in our Christian circles, different ways people have of doing it. That is the way, you know.
Yeah, and the problem is most of it is just based off of like experience.
Yeah.
Not based off of the Bible.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate because so many people, they don't realize how much the Bible says about dating. And like there's a very specific reason is because there's one book that's actually dedicated to dating, which is the Song of Solomon. And well, if you're like 14 years old, then like you can wait. But I mean, especially if you're 18 years old, you should actually study that book.
Yeah.
And see what it says about dating. See what it says about, because most of it is talking about the relationship between a man and a woman. About the good qualities of a woman, the good qualities of a man. And there's actually a podcast called It's Complicated, made by Breakaway Ministries.
Love that name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's a great series. It's put on by a guy. He's like a director at a college, and he did that for college freshmen. So 18-year-old kids, right? And the whole series is just going through how to date according to the Bible, and it has a huge emphasis on.
Yeah, you wouldn't, Siri.
He has no, she wouldn't. It has a huge emphasis on the Song of Solomon and what it has to say about dating and about how to treat a woman, how to care for her.
Yeah.
And so, like, you should definitely, especially if you're 18 or older, like, you should study that out.
Yeah.
Because
I wondered that, like, why did the Bible talk about this?
Well, yeah, why doesn't the Bible talk
what?
about relationships?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, but it does. It's just the taboo.
It's the forbidden book.
The forbidden book. It's, oh man, it actually is a joke in our Christian circles.
It is.
It's like, it's Song of Solomon.
Yeah.
When really, it's like, yeah, but it's literally the Word of God.
Yeah, and there is obviously things that apply to marriage in there too. So it's not just about dating. So, yeah, but it's in there.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely encourage people, especially when you're single, like us, right? And one other thing I'd encourage you to is do it in the right way, and but be friends with girls.
Yeah.
Just learn how to be friends with people in general. Don't be specific one way or another.
Right.
Just be friends. And that will help you a lot. When you actually get a good friends group, like I know I am a lot more like, I wish I had someone that I liked when I don't have a good friends group.
Yeah.
Right? When you actually have like, especially like if you're a guy, you need at least one guy friend that like you guys can talk about anything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. The worst thing you've ever done, the biggest crush you have, the darkest secret you have. Like you need a guy where you can just
a friend that sticks closer to their brother.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need that in your life. So don't think that because even though I think I am a huge proponent of being friends with girls, I don't think your best friend should be your girl.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Until you get married.
That's how you get
married.
married.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that should be.
But until then, because a guy, you can be completely open and honest because he's probably going through the same stuff you are.
Here's the thing though, it doesn't matter who the person is. If you're best friends with a girl, there's going to be miscommunication, and if you have if they have no feelings or if you don't, there's going to be some miscommunication.
Oh yeah, I
it's
agree.
just going to happen.
And it's just not
for being like super best friends. You can be close friends.
Yeah, I'm okay with being close with a girl. I'm okay with being friends with a girl. But, like, your support needs to come from a guy, in my opinion. And I could be wrong about this, and if you guys have different opinions, go right ahead.
Well, I just look at the life of Christ, and just look at the friends he had.
There you go.
His closest friends were, you could probably say were the apostles.
Yep.
But then he had Mary and Martha.
And Lazarus.
Yeah. They were very close friends. It even says that in the Bible that they were close friends.
It's very explicit.
And there's others too.
Yeah, but then you look at it in context. He had friends that were girls.
Yeah.
And it was fine. But then he also had like a lot of friends that were guys.
Yeah, like his group was the apostles. That was his
and then
group.
like his cousin was like from what it seemed like he was super close to John the Baptist.
Yeah.
Like they were like, he was like upset when he found out that he died.
Yeah.
And his apostles, he chose all guys, as his, and so that's a huge thing. But that doesn't mean he just avoided girls. He didn't hang out with them.
Yeah.
No, even when there was a lady caught in adultery, he's like, she still deserves to be talked to be loved, to be cared for. So neither do I condemn thee, go and sin no more.
Here's the thinking that I used to have as an immature teen.
Yeah.
And I think probably a lot of people think the same way.
Okay.
Is if I talk to a girl, that means I like her. So I'm just not going to talk to girls that I don't like.
Yeah.
That's maybe a little bit extreme, but that thinking is there.
Oh, there is that thinking, which is sad because then it causes a backwards thinking.
It does.
Which means
if a girl talks to me, she likes me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is because then that leads to all the miscommunication in the world, and it does one other thing, which is, and I don't mean this. There's a lot worse offenders, but it almost turns women into like just one thing.
Yes.
Love interest. Yeah. That's it.
And people, Christian dudes, I don't think this way, but it is objectifying.
It is.
Women.
It's objectifying women.
And we don't think of it that way, like the world does.
Yeah.
Objectifies women. But
and of course the world is a lot more vulgar with it, and if you work at a factory, you're very well aware of that. But it's absolutely objectifying women.
Yeah.
To just think of them as a love interest.
Yeah.
And we don't do it on purpose, but it's because of this, like, you can't.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, boys are red, girls are blue.
Yeah.
Together, or no, girls are pink, boys are blue. Together they make purple. We don't want purple. It's like, okay, whatever, grow up,
Yeah.
But according to the Bible, that's not even true.
No.
We're supposed to. It says, it's talking to Timothy, which is I wouldn't say younger guy. He was, in our standards, a middle-aged.
Okay.
Man.
30s.
Yeah. Like, I think early 30s, something like that. And it's not 100% clear.
Mm.
But he specifically told Timothy, he said, treat the older men as fathers, the older women as mothers, the younger men as brothers, and the younger women as sisters, with all purity. He added that on purpose, because he's like, hey, keep it pure. Everyone needs to be pure one with another.
Yeah.
But we're brothers and sisters.
That is the simplicity of Christianity.
Yeah.
That is it. If you are a friend, as a Christian, if you're friends with someone of the opposite gender, you need to treat them
like your sister.
Like sibling.
Yeah.
Because they are spiritually.
Yeah, and when I thought about that, I'm like, oh, I thought two things. One, I'm treating most girls wrong. Two, I'm treating my sisters wrong.
Yeah.
Because I would never treat my girlfriends.
Yes.
Of course, with a space in the middle. But I'd never treat my girlfriends the way that I treat my sisters.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I need to treat my sisters better.
Yeah, I would say this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
go ahead.
I would say until you're at least engaged, maybe married, you should treat your sisters better than any other girls. Would you disagree?
Yeah. I think once you're engaged and it's like, okay,
once you're engaged.
We're betrothed, we're dedicated.
Maybe if you're in a relationship, I don't know. Still no.
I disagree.
Yeah.
No, not disagree. You're
agree, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that your sisters should be or your mother.
Yeah.
Your sisters and your mother should be the people you treat better than any other girl on the planet.
Yep.
And I realized that I do care that much about my sisters, and I was like, oh, I need to start treating them like that.
Yeah.
Because I do. I was thinking, because there was a girl I liked, and a guy, and I was obsessing over it, because guys do that sometimes. And a friend of mine who gives great advice, he's like, okay, if you had to choose one, you could only, either you care about her or you care about your sisters. Who's more important? And I was like, it's my sisters.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, which means I don't care about this other girl as much as my sisters because she's not the one I'm supposed to marry. So I should stop obsessing over her, and I should start caring more about my sister. It's showing my sisters how much I actually care.
Yeah. Well, great advice is, if you're a girl looking for a guy, look how he treats his sisters and mother.
Yes. That was actually one of my first pieces of advice.
Yeah.
To this one girl. She's now married to the guy I was giving her advice about. At that point, she wasn't even dating him. She was just considering him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great guy. But I was like, look how he treats his mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, that will tell you how he will treat you.
Yeah, because if he's interested, he's going to put on a face.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just going to be better.
Oh, yeah. Well, and even without trying, you got the feelings. You got the, it's so fun. We're so in love.
But give it a year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Give it a year, give it 2 years, and then all of a sudden, they are themselves again.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to deal with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that guy took care of his mother quite well. So I was like, okay, I approve. So it's one of those things where you have to, though, in all these things, being friends with girls, taking care of your sister, but just take advantage of your single life,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I almost feel like it's being taken for granted on both sides of the aisle, and there's really no balance.
Both sides of the aisle.
Yeah.
What would both sides
So
of the aisle?
there's one side where they're like, just be single and enjoy life and party and
don't get married till you're 30.
Yeah,
why
don't
are you
get married
considering?
you're 37 and why even consider your 20s? It's way too young to get married. And then there's the other side where it's like, I need to get married. I'm 18 and a half.
I turned 18 yesterday. Why am I not married?
What? I've been in college for 2 weeks and I still haven't found a girlfriend.
Yeah.
It's it's crazy, but in some Christian circles, there's almost to that extent.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, settle. I don't think getting married at 30 by choice is a good idea. If that's when God has it for you, then alright.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a good idea to get married in your 20s.
Yeah.
I think that just makes it easier to raise children, to be a grandparent.
Yeah, and also someone brought this up too. I think it was actually Ben Shapiro. He was saying why it was a good idea, because a lot of people say, don't get married young. Why would you get married young? And he was saying, no, if you're ready, it's a good idea, because you're still young or you're still developing. It's easier to get used to somebody when you're both young and
you're both still able to change.
Yes.
Which means compromising.
And we're not talking about changing who you are, but compromising.
Yeah, compromising the little things, because every relationship there's going to be compromise.
Yeah, you're not going to find the person completely.
Yeah. Like, we're currently recording on Monday because he works in the morning, I work at night, and this was the only day he had off. And Saturdays, we have something else going on. So we had to compromise in our relationship.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, that's
yeah, we're not compromising any core tenets.
Right.
We're just finding a middle ground because we're different people. And marriage is that times 100.
Yep.
Of, hey, we are literally taking two completely separate lives, two completely separate worlds, and putting them together. There's gonna be some contention, and there's gonna need to be some compromise. So you're right. Being able to get married in your 20s is a lot easier. Because then you can learn to mold and shift and adapt easier.
And God might not have that for you, but
I know.
It is a good idea. If you're ready.
I know my uncle, he got married in his 30s.
Did he?
Yeah. But the ladies he's with right now, they now have 2 kids, and they're awesome. I love Aunt Stephanie. She's great. And then, I know there's another guy, Mike Marshall. He got married in his 30s, and the lady he married was also in her 30s.
Yeah.
And they have a great relationship. They're the most hilarious couple though, because he's like 6'4" or something.
Mm-hmm.
Big guy. Imagine my dad, but bigger and buffer. And taller.
Yeah.
It's still huge beard.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right? Just this. He looks like a Viking.
Yeah.
An absolute Viking. He has the most barrel-chested voice. Borderline opera. And then his wife is a little shorter than me. Skinny as Grace. Just this tiny little thing. Okay, it's his hand, it's in hers.
Uh-huh.
It's my hand in a 4-year-old's. It's hilarious.
Funny.
But they're just so great together.
Yeah.
It's such an adorable couple.
Yeah.
But it took them a long time to find the one for them.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that if you're not married in your 20s, you're left of us.
Yeah. There's no right answer here for age. It just depends on when God brings the person.
Mm-hmm. So it goes right back to what you had actually said before the podcast, which is it's about contentment.
There we go.
And that's what single life, if that's the one thing, if you can understand contentment, you can be okay with being single.
Yes, and I was saying this to you last night, I think it was, because we were kind of briefly discussing what's the point when someone was ready for a relationship.
Yeah.
And I was saying to you, I think it's when somebody is truly content with being single. Truly content with where God has them.
Yeah.
Because if you think being discontent is really not trusting God.
Mm-hmm.
Really not. This goes back to a study we're doing on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
He kind of talks about this, but being discontent shows you're not trusting God. You're not trusting God for who He is, and it really could turn into an idol. A relationship could turn into an idol.
Yeah.
And God might be holding off that relationship for you because He wants you to learn to put Him first.
Yeah.
And realize that He's enough. Be content with just, God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. And it's huge because, like we kind of began the podcast, a lot of people, they turn 18 and they're immediately, they're looking at the prospects and, they're chasing. And
yeah, they go to Bible college just to get a girlfriend.
Yeah, and it's that shouldn't be your focus.
Yeah.
In secular, psychologists and, smart people will say the same thing. They'll say you should have your own life.
Yeah. And again, the world takes that too far.
They do.
Because right now they're kind of in a singleness kick, which will definitely...
They are.
which will definitely reverse when they realize the consequences.
Yeah, because a lot of people are okay with one night stands and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard of it was a video I was watching. It was like a financial thing, but these people, the lady's like in her late 30s. It was either late 30s or early 40s, and and now they want to have kids. They work because they worked so hard on their career
the corporate
that they didn't have time for kids, and then she realized, okay, I want kids, and got scared because of how old she was, because
that's so many women.
Yeah, because biological stuff and
there's so many women these days.
Yeah,
look at the stats; it's staggering, and a lot of women believe the lie that for true fulfillment they need to chase the career, like the guys are doing.
Yeah.
Because it's feminism.
I don't think guys should chase a career.
They should, but that's the traditional.
Yeah.
So.
But then again, that's neither here nor there. It's a little off topic, but yeah.
Yeah. But a little bit, because true fulfillment is for women is motherhood.
Yeah.
I'd say.
And true contentment is, it's what Paul talks about. He has a verse that perfectly explains what contentment looks like, which is, I have learned both to be abased and to abound, to suffer, to have no want and to suffer want. Or I'm not quoting.
Basically, have stuff and not have stuff.
In whatsoever state I am, there I have learned. In whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content.
Yep.
That is the place. And when you're a single person, that's the place you want to get to.
Yes.
And you don't want to get to that just so then, now I'm ready for marriage. No. Okay. Get that temporarily out of your mind. Keep it in the back of your mind. And put in the front of your mind friends that want to encourage me in the Lord, that want to push me in the Lord, that want to get me further in the Lord. Find really good guy friends that want to push you in the Lord, and just get a good group of friends, and get close to God. And the closer you are to God, the more biblical perspective you'll have on relationships. And when you meet a girl, instead of being like, oh, does she like me? You'll go, is she godly?
Yeah. When you talked about contentment just before, another verse popped into my mind. Godliness with contentment is great gain. If you got godliness, you're spiritual, you're growing in the Lord, and you got contentment, you're content with where God has you, you're content with who God is and where God has you in your life, what else do you need? And another thing that comes to my mind is the whole "you complete me" attitude. People go after, and I meant to mention this before, but I think I'll mention it here. They think, and I used to think this too without realizing it, that a relationship, if I can just get the relationship, I'll be complete, I got a hole in my heart, half of my heart's, needs to be filled, and that's absolutely not true. Yeah, that hole in your heart gets filled by growing in the Lord and being full of the Holy Spirit that dwells in you. Yeah, a true godly relationship consists not of two half hearts coming together. It comes from two fulfilled people coming together, and you have two people that are better able to serve and glorify God. Yeah, and with that you do become one person. But I like the quote. I modified this quote a little bit because it was a secular quote, so I modified it. It was originally, "You don't complete me, you compliment me," and I know, but I changed it a little bit. I went, "God completes me, you compliment me." Yeah, that's a good quote there. Because at the end of the day, if you feel incomplete and you feel like you need a relationship, get a better relationship with God. Yeah. And then let Him complete you. Exactly. And then He can guide you. And to be fair, we're getting to the end of the podcast. We are. I'm just going to say it out loud. Both of us want to get married. Yeah. We're not done with, We're not eunuchs. Right.
We're not done with the dating life, and we're not going off and being aloners. So it's okay to still want to do it, but you should be able to be content with being single, so that when you get married, you can be content with being married.
Exactly, because once you're married, you think, if you have that mindset that once I get married, that's the peak, that's where I'll be happy. You'll get married and you'll find,
wait, this is it?
This is it?
When really, according to the Bible, marriage is just the beginning.
Yeah.
Marriage is like, okay, so now we're here, we made a commitment, now let's build.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I built up to marriage, now I'm on top of the world. No, it's, okay, I made a step, now let's keep building, let's keep growing closer to Christ.
Yeah. I heard a quote, and I know we're running low on time here, but and I don't know if I completely agree with it, but kind of went like this, you serve the Lord, and then you get married when you realize you can't serve the Lord. You can serve the Lord much better with somebody else. It's to that extent.
I like that thought process.
It's a good process. I won't go to that extreme.
Yeah.
But I like where that person was going.
I like the idea of, because it's a helper. They come alongside you.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you can find someone where, hey, I'm serving the Lord right now, but with them, I'm able to serve the Lord better. I'm able to serve the Lord more. I'm able to serve the Lord in different ways. Okay, that's a good reason to get married.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand I agree that there's some flawed logic, and it could be taken the wrong way.
It could.
But the core concept, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Find someone that wants to come alongside you and serve the Lord with you.
There you go. That's a better quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
We probably didn't get everything right. We are not relationship experts.
No, this is a opinionated podcast, not an expert.
Yep.
Podcast.
We try to include as much Bible as we can, but at the end of the day, we're human.
I don't know if we want to be known as being experts on being singles anyway.
Yes, the experts on being single.
Yeah.
No, every girl out there, we don't want them to lose their career.
Yeah.
No, please, keep your career.
Please, yeah.
Alright, so with that being said, what are you grateful for? What are you happy about?
Oh. We had we recorded a podcast 2 days ago.
Yeah, so it's a little bit, or maybe just something in general that you
I am happy for the friend group that I have. I have several friend groups, but just the people I know and that I encourage them, they encourage me, and just a great thing to have.
Yeah, that's an awesome thing to have. I 100% agree. And kind of building on that, one thing I'm grateful for, I'm looking ahead.
Mm-hmm.
The quiz.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
I am too.
A little nervous. This is going to be my first time coaching.
Yeah, I get to sit back and watch all you guys. The crowd youth leader.
We're going to see what happens. I still need to write questions. I'm going to do that.
Yeah, we need to rehearse on Wednesday or something.
Yeah, we do. Do you think they could come early? Who knows? Anyway, that's we don't get personal discussions on the podcast. With but yeah, I'm super excited for Bible quiz. If there's anyone listening to this that goes to Bible quiz, this was posted after Bible quiz, so how's losing?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We may not be the GOAT yet. We'll give it a few. We will be, but maybe not.
We're gonna be.
We will be. It's just a matter of time.
Watch out, Pioneer.
Pioneer, you're going down, Pioneer.
We're coming for you.
You are going down.
We're coming for your lunch. We're coming for your breakfast. We're coming for your dinner. We're even coming for their midnight snack.
And I'm just there to watch the carnage.
So yeah, I think we'll have fun.
Yeah.
It's everyone's first time, so I'm not going to put unrealistic expectations on my teens, but I think it's going to be fun.
I think so too.
But with that being said, Thank you guys for watching another episode.
Yeah.
I want you to subscribe and comment what was your favorite part about this episode. One piece of advice we said. Maybe comment something we got wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe comment, just anything.
We probably did get something wrong.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so, let us know. Let us know in the comments. And I'll see you later.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.